Hi, I'm Angelo and I'm from Kurasu Singapore, and this is my favorite coffee recipe. We're gonna be using the Kono dripper today. This dripper is actually pretty interesting and quite special to me. This dripper means a lot in our culture as well. People tend to enjoy these dark roasted coffees. I find that this Kono dripper does it best. So we're gonna start off pretty simple, just talk about the dripper itself while we use the filter papers. These ones here are from Hario. It also happens to be one of the filter papers that we most commonly see in supermarkets or wherever. So you can decide to get them on your convenience. When you're putting in your filter papers, you might want to just put it right in the middle. Try not to brush water onto the walls as you typically would with your V60s. These ones actually create a little bit of a faster flow rate, and I find this super helpful when it comes to brewing heavier coffees. I guess in the beginning when we were like brewing specialty coffee, light roasted coffees, you would pour more than once or extract a lot longer. And when we were dabbling into darker roasted coffees, we realized that actually you just had to shave off different parts of it, not over extracting your coffee. That's the main key. So today we're gonna be using this Bangkok blend, house blend, and it's a dark blend itself. I really like it. You guys can take a look at the grind size over here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's actually pretty coarse. So what's gonna happen is your water is just gonna go through and just touch and go. The extraction is going to be a touch and go extraction, and it's going to help you create a beverage that is full-bodied, that's full of flavors, however not too bitter at the same time. Always balance the outcome. And over here we are brewing with about 88 degrees, pouring about 50 grams of water for our first pour. Now immediately what you're going to see is a vigorous reaction, a lot more so than your typical light roast. This is a lot of carbon dioxide that's coming out. I think the closest traditional method of brewing darker roasted coffees would be the osmotic brewing. This is going to be pressure that's going to be built up within your coffee bed itself. By pouring just in the middle, you are actually using the CO2 to push out from the bottom. So you can see later on in the flow rate, the flow bed, it's just going to go up. Look at that bubbles, look at those carbon dioxide just escaping. Just go really slow around it. So for today's recipe, we're using about 20 grams of coffees, putting in about 250 grams of hot water. And that's just gonna help us extract lesser and slower, a little bit more coffee, so your ratios are a little bit tighter. But we're gonna compensate for that ratio with a coarser grind size, and that's gonna give us a nice balance in flavors. Do not be alarmed if your flow rate's a little bit fast. It's supposed to be fast because you're trying to extract lesser. So we're looking at between 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes, and your typical light roast would be 3 to 3.5. What we're gonna be expecting is a cup of coffee that's full of flavor, a little bit higher in body, but not bitter at all. Mix it well and then have it served. Here we go. Some couple of things. All you need is really just a dripper. You could really use this method with every other dripper out there, but I find it to work best when it comes to dark roasted coffees. So what we're gonna need is, we're gonna need some dark roasted coffees here. We have the house blend dark roasted by Kurasu Bangkok. Some filter papers from Hario. You can usually find them in the markets or at your favorite coffee shops. You could use some other alternatives to help you get a flow rate that you want, something faster, something slower, depending on your preference. It's a really simple recipe that I think that you can replicate at home pretty easily. And here we go. Try some. It's just nice. Some trick tips: if you're grinding it on a coarser, I always suggest grinding it on the coarser side because I'd rather taste something that's lighter than something that's too bitter. And it helps you if you feel that the color looks a little bit too light, you can sort of reduce the water to help you get the strength that you want. So yes, this is my favorite setup for dark roasted coffees. Hopefully I'll catch you in Singapore soon. See ya!